Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions video, and I'm back in action. Baby J is here. He's taking sleep away from everybody he can find. He's taking milk away, not from me, because that would be kind of weird. So, you know, that's a thing. Anyway, I'm going to tell you today about the Cypress Pile, this rod, and I would have made this video like days ago, but, you know, I've been sort of off the grid. Yes, this rod's kind of a trap. I'm going to talk you through like why it's a trap, why you probably just shouldn't build it. We're going to look at other rods. You'll see. We're going to talk about it right now. Alright, now before we get into the video, gotta do the housekeeping thing, and if you want to support the stream, please consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link. It's down in the description. Best way to support the stream. Thank you to everybody who does that. Now, let's talk about this rod, and I got tipped off on this by watching a video that Merlo put out. Now, if you don't know who Merlo is, he's another content creator, streamer, YouTuber, all that. I'm going to post a link to a video that he had talking about the Cypress Pile, right? I'm going to use like sort of what he said, and I'm going to go a little bit farther here, and we're going to look at some different rods. Now, I want to start, like I think the most important place to start is with a rod that a lot of us probably have already, and that's if we go to equipment here, it's the Magistral rod that is from the Final Fantasy X event. So I built one, and I have enough recipes to build another one if I want to. I say I built one, like, it's in here somewhere. Let's sort by like rods. You can tell I've been off the grid for a few days. Where is this dang thing? There it is. Magistral rod +5. Now, this has 170 magic, which is actually 4 more magic than the Cypress Pile can get. And it has evocation boost up 30 and magic attack up 15. Now, really importantly, the Cypress Pile does not give you magic attack up, which is something that a lot of us just have come to expect from +5 pieces of farmable gear. That +15 attack type boost is a big jump in your damage, and missing out on that for the Cypress Pile is a big deal. This rod, the Magistral rod, also gives 30 evocation gauge boost up, which is like actually pretty important. A lot of the newer espers have good summons, right? Like, think about Bahamut, and it's like 2-hit attack. I believe that's right. We have Carbuncle coming out, which is going to give like reflect to your group, a massive like damage buff to your light teams, like a debuff to the enemy. I don't even know exactly what all it does because I haven't looked at that close yet, but I know it's insanely good. So summoning, being able to summon is pretty important. And I would say the Magistral rod +5, if you have 1 or 2 of these, I would just skip the Cypress Pile. Like, maybe farm enough recipes that you could build one someday if you want to, but I wouldn't be like hardcore pushing for it, and I certainly wouldn't be spending 2k Visior to just buy one from the shop. Now, let's go ahead and put on the screen real quick the stats for the Cypress Pile. Here it is. So the Cypress Pile, you can see we want to look at the magic version, right? It gives 166 magic, 4 less than the Magistral rod, and it gives a 25% chance to inflict confusion with a basic attack. Like, your people with rods are not going to be basic attacking each other. That's almost just like throwaway. You just don't even care about that, or at least it's not something I'm factoring in when I'm thinking about building this rod, unless it's something crazy like Tower or some really elongated PvE experience where maybe your mages are having to go like beat on things, and even then, whatever. Okay, the big boost that this gives is 20 magic resist pin. Now that's significant and that's pretty good, but it's only good if people are building magic resist specifically. It's not good against spirit, it's not good against HP, it's only good if your target is stacking magic resist. Now, there are units in the game that do stack magic resist, but it's not all the units. And if you're using like Black Rose Helena, who does these massive AoEs, I don't know that this is better than other rods in the game in a whole lot of situations, especially considering, look what it takes to craft this thing. Black Spirit Sand 2570, that's farmable in the story. That's actually not too bad. 315 Mithril Ore is a big ask. 323 Wind Crest is a big ask. And then you're in your secret books of refinement, etc. This is a lot. to craft for a rod that is only situationally like any good. So I would farm the recipes for this and then not build it until you just found like, oh no, everybody in the world is stacking magic resist, or you're fighting a PvE boss that is very high magic resist and you need to penetrate that, etc. Now we looked at the magistral rod. Let's look at the other rods in the game, because maybe you weren't playing during the Final Fantasy X event, or you didn't farm Yuna's rod, which is the magistral rod. There are other rods in the game. Prunus Lamina, for example. This is one that came out with like Sakura. It's her rod. Less magic, right? The Prunus Lamina only running 150 magic. So you're like, okay, maybe the Cypress Pile is better. Not if you're a light unit or a lightning unit, because this rod gives massive boosts to light attack and lightning attack, and it gives the 15 magic attack. So if you are Sakura, Skull, any light element or lightning element mage, this is a better rod. You would rather run the Prunus Lamina anyway. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Platinum Rod, another farmable event rod that gives that basic plus 15 magic attack up right here. This is, in my opinion, Platinum Rod is the like baseline rod for like what a good plus 5 rod in this game is. It has 162 magic, which is just a little bit less, but I'm telling you, 15 magic attack up is going to be more generically good. And if you're like me and you're sitting on like 2 plus 5 platinum rods, a plus 5 Una rod, 2 Prunus Laminas, like I'm not going to build the Cypress Pile. Now it kind of worked out that this is the week where I was like been in the hospital for 3 days, so I kind of don't have time anyway, but I did already farm 63 recipes. Or no, not quite, but I've been farming it. So anyway, there's also the Ingus Staff. Now this is a really interesting one. This is Shell's TMR. So immediately note that it's a TMR, which means you freed up your 2 main equipment slots for other things. Now let's look at this. This has 108 magic, which is low, right? If you're running a DPS, 108 magic is low for your main like damage stat. But it has magic attack up 10 and spirit penetration 15. So against something like Rain's TMR, right? You see like gear that has a lot of spirit on it, or maybe cast an AoE spirit buff, something like the Ingus Staff is going to be better against that than the Cypress Pile is. Now, if they're stacking both, the Cypress Pile does offer more like penetration, but I'd honestly say the Ingus Staff in like general will probably serve you better, because when you're running the Ingus Staff, you can equip things like the Galmea Coat and the Soul of Thamasa. Let's start with the Galmea Coat, right? This is a piece of armor that gives magic, the stat, up 30%. So by running a TMR, you freed up your 2 other slots, and you can fill those slots with things like the Galmea Coat. So now you're boosting that magic stat. Okay, that's really good. Then you can boost your damage with the Soul of Thamasa. I think the Soul of Thamasa is the most important thing to consider when you're looking at not running the Cypress Pile, because the Soul of Thamasa, which is equipable by like everybody, gives magic resistance penetration. What is it, 18? No, it gives 10. It gives 10 magic resist pen and 8 magic resist for self. So you can still find some magic resist penetration plus silence resistance plus magic resistance plus like a good stat line, right? This is going to offer you 120 magic. So if you're using something again like the Ingus Staff, which only has 108 magic, you'll instead just get the 120 magic from the Soul of Thamasa. So if you've spent like the massive amounts of resources that you see here to build the soul, this is a way to put this massive investment that a lot of us have invested in to work. So this has kind of been my theory crafting on like why the Cypress Pile isn't necessarily super great. I just think there are generically better pieces of gear, and if you're a newer account or somebody who's strapped for resources or large energy pots, you guys, I would not go super hard on farming the Cypress Pile. I would take a deep breath. We're about to get Final Fantasy 1, like the Warrior of Light remake is, or not remake, the EX event is coming in. Save your large energy pots for that event, because there's going to be like things to do there that are probably just going to be more worth it than the Cypress Pile plus 5. So that's my video, you guys. It's just like a theory crafting thought and a way to, I hope, save some people some resources. So let me know in the comments what you think about this, or if you've already built a Cypress Pile and you just like are living by it and you just want to defend it. Get in the comments and defend that thing. I'd be happy to have some like good discussion. And that's it, everybody. It's good to be back making videos again. Life feels, I was gonna say normal again, but it actually probably just feels better now because I got little baby Jay running around. He ain't running around. He's farting and pooping his diapers, but it's still pretty neat. So that's the video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.